I said it the other night, my family was home, so I don't get that too often. My 3 kids under my roof, and that was pretty awesome. So that was the best part about it for me.
The PK has been a strong point for you all season. It hasn't had a ton of work the last few games, but just what have you liked about that?
Well, I like that we haven't had a ton of work out of it. So that's been good. No, it's just, like I said, everything is cyclical. Everything will go up and down through the course of a season, and penalty kill's done a good job.
Has being disciplined been a point of emphasis for you in the last few games?
We've talked about it, and there was a time there where we were taking too many penalties that I didn't think that we needed to take. And so some penalties I think are necessary. Some you can't control. You might not agree with what's being called on the ice. But then there's some that I just don't think are necessary, and they're not necessarily retaliation penalties. They're penalties, away from the play, in the offensive zone, reaching, and so we talk about that quite a bit, is trying to stay away from those.
You've been able to bounce back against teams that have gotten better. Any rhyme or reason to that? You wouldn't come back the next time?
We talk about everything, like we try to address things the next day and try to address things when they pop up. I said this the other day, the players have been really receptive just to thoughts and ideas. They have their own as well, but ultimately they have to go out on the ice and perform and play. And I think that they remember some of those games. This one's got a little bit of distance between it, but a lot of those games you're talking about, they happened 5 days later or 7 days later, 9 days later. They're fresh in the memory still of something that didn't really go our way.
What do you make of Chandre's season so far? Do you think there's another level he can get to over the second half?
I think he's a young player that's continuing to get better and continuing to push. There's so many athletic things that he does out on the ice. His skating, his reach, his ability to skate, move pucks. I think all of our players are trying to continue to get better, to find another level. And so for that, I would say yes, but it's not in a sense that I'm sitting here saying that they were disappointed in the way we're playing. We're not. We think that he's a guy that consumes a lot of minutes. He and Jacob play against the other team's best pairs. They take on hard minutes, and I think that those situations are, those are hard minutes to take on, and he's a young player that is learning the game and continuing to get better at it. But I think his start and his season has been good, but I always think that there's another level for a player, a young player especially like him. You want to see him keep climbing the ladder with responsibility and with his game.
Is there a further update on the 2 injured guys? You said Kako and Phil were both still skating.
Yeah, I mean they're both improving, coming back from the break, and so we're kind of reassessing everything today as well.
What didn't you see against Washington the last time that you won the season?
I just thought they had the better of us that night. That happens sometimes. I don't have to like it. The players don't have to like it, but they had a little bit. They got a little better start. They were a little quicker to areas off the rush in the offensive zone. I don't think that there's some things. I think there's some things that we could have done to make us better, and so those are the things that we'll talk about today.
I'd asked you, a week or two ago about Jimmy Vesey's goal production, but beyond the goal production, what is it about his game that you like? Like what, if you could describe his game, what he's doing for you?
I think he's a smart player, a responsible player. I think, to your point, this is somebody who's grown inside of his game. He's not 22 years old anymore. He's a player that's been around and played on some teams, and I think he's added elements to his game. And so for somebody who came out of college as an offensive threat, I still think he has that because he's scoring goals and he's creating, but I also think that he's a well-rounded player and somebody that we can count on to defend or kill penalties or to help out on the power play. And so the versatility that he brings to our team, I think, is really helpful for me as a coach. Whether it's up a line or down a line, on the power play, penalty kill, left wing, right wing. It's a versatile player.
Some of Miller, can you look at him and say, oh, he didn't start playing D until later? Can you tell that from watching him play?
I can't tell that. I think that he's, again, for me, he's a young player that will continue to get better. I know what you're saying. I can't tell that. I can't tell that there's something missing in his game that, you know, and it would be hard, I think, for somebody to do that, but I can't tell. To me, he looks like it's a natural spot, a natural fit. I love the way he skates. I think he goes back under pressure and breaks out pucks. I think he's got a good understanding of the rush and D-zone coverage. I think he uses his speed and his offensive instinct to penetrate the neutral zone at the right time with speed. And there's a lot of good things that he does in the offensive zone as well.
From your past, when you have a couple breaks over a holiday weekend, do you have to remind the team, okay, let's go, let's not ease into this game tonight?
And we talk about everything. And what I found about these breaks is that you could say the same thing for 15 years in a row, and 7 of them you'll like and 8 of them you won't like, or vice versa. And so there's no guarantee. We got to be ready to play. We're playing a team that's hungry and needs to continue to win games, to move up the standings and push towards their spot and where they want to go and what they want to do. And so we need to do the same. And so I don't know, I can't speak for them. I think our guys will be ready to play tonight.